I'd be lucky to have 2 quarters to rub together. And he's got me writing and reading and thinking about having a new Cadillac? Yes. And if you will do it long enough, don't forget, this will come true. So believe in it. You want this book to go up or down? Back to that again. Okay. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. Back to what I said. 3 things. Books you read, people you know, and your attitudes. Let's go to books you read. Who, Ricky, helps you decide what books you read? You do. Your choice, right? Do you have to read? You could read if you want to. Could read. Now, you're not the one who's reading Playboy all the time. No, that wasn't you. Okay. But the point is, you can choose to read what you want. Okay? It's your choice. You can read good books. You can read bad books. You don't even have to read it all. But if you don't, it's going to make a big deal about the end product of your entire life. When you die, we're going to look back at what you did. And what you read is going to have a lot to do with that. Okay? That's your education. Okay, we're sitting here with college professors. Here's Dr. Thad Cruz, Vice President of Western Kentucky University. We've got teachers here. We've got teachers here, too. What a deal. Okay? They understand that our education is very important. Okay, when we're working in this business, this is different than other businesses. This is different than my medical practice. This is different than my thrifty nickel businesses. This is different. We've got to know something. Slim, we've got to learn something. We've got to be willing to educate ourselves if we want to know how to do this business. So, one of the greatest books that I've ever read, and his entire series is Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad series. Okay, understand this. And if you've never read this, if you don't know this author, meet him. Go get his books. Read them. Okay, they will help change your life for the better. Now, books we read. By the way, second book, Cash Flow Quadrant. What's that? That's this. This is where Kiyosaki says that if you aren't on this side of the equation, you're in trouble. If you're on this side, on this side, you're in trouble. You got to be on this side not to be in trouble. What is this? This is an employee. How many people here actually work for somebody? Are you any employees right here? Few. Okay. You're there. This is a small business. This is self-employed. This is me. This is a doctor. This is a dentist. Small business. That's a bunch of us. What is this? You have a job. I own a job. Okay? That's the difference. And so those of us that are here and we have these jobs just over broke, how can I say that? Because the government tells me that 90% of all Americans live paycheck to paycheck every week, every month. Their money runs out before the month runs out, every time. Okay, so job is just over broke. And if you're in this rat race, you have no chance of ever being able to save $20,000, $30,000 a year in order to invest and in order to create a big business so that you can have something more than what this job is going to give you. Big business. He says you better get a big business. That's 500 or more employees. People that work for you. People that are helping you earn an income while you sleep. Now, how much would it cost to start a big business? Well, it cost us millions to start the nickels. It cost me $1 million to start this business. How many of y'all got $1 million laying around that let's start a business? Not many. Not many. Not when you realize that less than 4% of Americans will ever make $80,000 a year from a single job. 96% of Americans never do that in a single job. So when are they going to get all these millions to build these big businesses? They're not, unless they are wise enough. Was Trevor out there? Unless they're wise enough to get something that allows them to build that. That's where network marketing comes in. That's why come here, Trev. That's why we all are doing one of the wisest things you will ever do. Dr. Sorgel, one of my partners here, we're urologists, genitourinary surgeons. Wee pee-wee tinkle, doctor, for you, Jim. Okay, but that's what we do, okay? So you've got to get this big business. Lynette and I started our business with Provision last September, and when we first started, It was me and Lynette, and then it was Wayne, and it was Susan, and it was Hal J., and it was John and some others, and now that's grown into almost 1,400 people. Does that look like more than 500? I think this is a big business. By the way, let me make a point. These guys have quit. And that's okay. We'll come back to that. Everybody doesn't do this, okay? And I don't have to have everybody do this for us to be successful. This has already changed our lives tremendously. So learn, and we're going to have Susan Cooper. Where's Susan? There she is. We'll speak to that in a moment. So the point is, we're trying to get a big business like Kawasaki says we've got to do. And then you can make these investments if you have people working for you. So everybody in this room that's in my downline, I'm leveraging you. Okay? Ricky, I'm leveraging you. Are you okay with that? Sure. He's happy. I'm leveraging him. Now, if y'all worked for me in a job situation, Stan, then I'm leveraging you too. You'll never make as much money as I do. I own this factory. Y'all are going to be paid much less than me, and I'm leveraging you. I'm going to make a fortune off of y'all's work. You're going to have to work 40 hours a week. Not many of y'all are going to make over $80,000 a year because I can't afford that. And what you're going to do is come to work every day, and you're going to work just hard enough to keep me from firing you, and I'm going to pay you just enough to keep you from quitting. And that's our association. Isn't that wild? And that's what most jobs are because they can't pay them enough. We have, as physicians, we know that the most common time for myocardial infarctions, heart attacks, occurs 4 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock in the morning on Monday morning. That's fact. Tells me that most Americans would rather die than go to work. Okay? And that's the way it is. So, Kawasaki says you better get this, and the first thing he says in his books is you better have a network marketing home-based business. Isn't that cool? So this guy makes hundreds of millions of dollars. And he says you better have a home-based business. And he's exactly right from that. So the books we read are going to influence us tremendously. And it's going to influence the end product of your life. How about the people you know? Annette, who chooses the people you know? She does. And that's exactly right. And we all do. Now, you can have good people or bad. You can choose to be around positive people or negative. I choose positive. I'm afraid that negativity may be contagious. I don't want to catch it. And so I choose to be around, and it's my choice, to be around positive people. I choose to be a positive person. Now, I don't understand this exactly, and I think some of you have heard me say this before, but I'm going to say it again. When I get to heaven, I'm going to ask God 3 things. I don't understand why He did certain things. The first thing is I don't know why He put y'all's bladder, the girl's bladder, where He put it. Wrong place. Ought to be on top of your head. Because that's why you have so many problems. And goodness gracious, and that's the wrong place. But there it is. And it sure helps me and Dr. Sorrell because we get to make a lot of money because y'all's bladder in the wrong place. Second thing is I want to know why in the world, if He can do all these wonderful things that He can do, why not have a little red flag come out of man's right ear when he's got a prostate problem? Because y'all never know it, so y'all ruin your bladders, and then you come to us to help them. A little red flag. Oh, hey, Troy, you got a prostate problem. You know, we'd know that, okay? So easy. Also, why did He let us be naturally negative? I don't understand that. Why not naturally positive? Everybody get up, high-five it every morning, hug and kiss it. What a deal. Instead of that, it's gloom and doom. That's something. Gloom and doom. I dread Monday. I hate Monday. That's a seventh of your life, for goodness sakes. Why do you hate a seventh of your life? I wouldn't do that. So this negative, I don't understand that, but I do know this. You cannot be positive and negative simultaneously. I know that for a fact. Can't do it. You're either going to be positive or negative, and it's going to be your call, because if you choose to be positive and if you work at it, you will be. And if you don't choose to be positive and work at it, guess what you'll be? By default, negative. And that's why you run into so many negative people. And you will, because they're not choosing to be positive. They're not working at it. First we form habits, then they form us. That's cool. Well, let's form positive habits, and hopefully that'll help us be a little more positive than usual. So all those things I'm saying help you be prepared to do these businesses, because it's a different kind of business, guys. So the books you read, I'm going to encourage you to read and read and read. It's so very important that you do that. Let's get your education. Now, attitudes. Attitudes.